Hi, today we're going to read some stories. Actually, these are small articles, and this is taken from the book Coming Home Timeless Wisdom for Families, written by Dr. James Dobson. The title is Return to Mayberry. When it comes to family related matters, I am known as a traditionalist. In fact, there are some who think I would like to take the American family back to the days of Augie and Harriet, but that criticism is perpetuous. I don't want to go back to Augie and Harriet. I want to go back to Mayberry with Seraph, Andy Taylor, and the gang. I loved it when Barney Fife said, "My whole body is a weapon." Obviously, I know that Mayberry never existed, that Aunt B and OP were figments of the writer's imagination, but there is validity to the theme of the sitcom. I was in high school during the happy days of 1950, and I can tell you that it was much easier to grow up in that era. I attended a racially mixed high school, yet there were no gangs there, but little alcohol, very little alcohol, and absolutely no drugs, none. Most of us studied hard enough to get by, and we rather liked our parents. As for sex, there was far more talk about it than action. Almost once in a year, a girl come up pregnant, but she was packed off somewhere, and I never knew where she went. By almost any measure, kids simply fared better in those days, which I do agree 100% with the writer. Nevertheless, that era is gone forever, and which I also do agree with the writer. You can't back up on a freeway, but considering the enormous pressure on today's generation, we could make the world safe and more secure for them. And the way to start is by building stronger and more harmonious family in which they can grow. Well, I would give my 2 cents to this little article, but the writer says I completely agree, even though I was nowhere near born in 1950. So that is way, way, way before my time. But I would say that the cell phone and the TV and the things on those probably could be the biggest reason for kids this behavior today, and the way they act, whatever they see. So way, way, way back, things were much better because they weren't visualizing these things all day. So yeah, one best thing to do is the thing it is created for, use it for that, to get messages around. But kids nowadays bury themselves on cell phone and whatever time left on their computer and TV. Not only kids, grown up too. So yeah, That's why I chose this article. And yeah, I do love Andy Griffith, so that is my most favorite. And the I Love Lucy, those shows were so good. And Three's Company, yeah, that was another good one. So yeah, this is the second article from the same book called Coming Home: Timeless Wisdom for Families. The Hurried Child. There is a tendency for parents in Western nations to make their children grow up too quickly, rushing them through the milestone of childhood and propelling them into the pressure of adolescence. This is the conclusion of development psychologist Dr. David Elkind, who called this cultural phenomenon of hurried child syndrome. It occurs when parents encourage their children to behave like teenagers, such as buying makeup for preschool girls, permitting teenage dating, treating kids more like grown ups, expecting them to make adult level decisions, dressing them in designer clothes, and especially exposing to explicit sexually sexuality in movies, television, and music videos, which I could not agree more. Just so true. In years past, parents understood the need for an orderly progression through childhood. There were cultural markers that determined the age at which certain behaviors were appropriate. Boys, for example, wore short pants until they are 12 or 13. Those markers have disappeared or they have moved downward. It was a big mistake. When you treat your children as if they're grown, they become very it becomes very difficult to set limits on their adolescent behavior down the road. How can you establish a curfew for a 13-year-old, for example, who has been taught to think of herself or himself as an adult? In short, the hurried child syndrome robs our kids of childhood and places them on an unnatural timetable that is harmful to mental and physical health. Let's let our kids be kids. This is a very good article, and I truly agree with the author. This is so true. Now, this is the third article. I'm going to read like 3 articles every time until I finish this book. And the same came from the book Coming Home: Timeless Wisdom for Families, Dr. James Dodson. In this article, the title is Recognition of Mothers. My commentary on this occasion is in honor of mothers around the world. There is no assignment on earth that requires the array of skills and understanding needed by a mom in fulfilling her everyday duties. She must be a resident psychologist, physician, educator, nurse, chef, taxi driver, fire marshal, and occasional police officer, and theologian. Join her on a mid morning visit to the pediatrician's office. After sitting for 45 minutes with a cranky, feverish toddler on her lap, mom and baby are finally ushered into the examination room. The doctor checks out the sick child and then tells the mom with a straight face, "Be sure you keep him quiet for 4 to 5 days. Don't let him scratch the rest. Make certain to keep the medicine down, and you'll want to watch his stool." "Yeah, sure, doc. Any other suggestions?" "Just one. The disease is contagious. Keep your other 4 kids away from him. I'll see you in a week." This amazing thing is that most mothers would get this job done, and they would do it with love and wisdom. God made them good at what they do, and He gave them a passion for their children. They would quite literally lay down their lives to protect the kid entrusted to their care, and that's why they are deserving of our admiration on Mother's Day or any other day of the year. That is so true. Thank you so much. I'll see you with many, many more. Bye bye.